we need to start teaching doctors and nurses and pharmacists how they can reverse the process of dependency. And I think that's an educational role both at university and in postgraduate settings. I think we need to put messages out to the public, probably through the print and broadcast media, in stories seeded inside soaps and other things, but not just there, in newspapers too. We need to make sure that news broadcasting isn't sensationalist where it doesn't need to be. And I think a lot of that can wind down the heat on self-limiting illness. And that's where a lot of the inappropriate use of the NHS comes from. We're not trying to stop people coming to see the doctor. We're trying to get people to treat themselves first before they come, to at least try and see whether they can solve the problem, which they may or may not be able to do.
Healthcare is in an interesting place at the moment in this country. How does the self-care movement fit into some of the things that are going on at policy level?
I think the white paper is about giving people choice, and part of that choice is to look after yourself. And I think as the health service is in a state of financial flux, I think it behoves all of us to see how we can reduce expenditure on the health service, or rather more appropriate use of the health service. And I think you do that by encouraging patients to self-care. I think it fits into the Conservative philosophy. We'll have to see whether they're seized with the idea, for example, of having a public health service that encourages the use of money to be spent on educating the public. I believe it's an important public health function, and I hope that the government's white paper on public health is going to mention the fact that public health departments should be involving the local population in education and in self-education, which is at least as important.